All right, y'all. So I got another story time for y'all. So I basically had to crack open a new bottle. You know what I mean? And we're going to get right into it. So I hope y'all drinking and smoking with me because we're going to have a ride to go. We're going to have a long ride. That's nasty. I'm not going to lie. This story give me a little bit of PTSD, so I'm going to have to take a double shot. But basically, today's story time is basically about how a woman tried to move in with me on our first date, aka the date from hell. And I still get stressed out talking about this. I try not to think about it at all. Now, if you're from my TikTok, you probably already saw the story already. But for the people who haven't, I'm going to just roll and give you a little preview.
Tell me about the worst date you've ever been on. Here's mine.
All right, TikTok. I went on one date a few years ago and it's still haunting me today. All right, so I meet this girl off of Instagram and we basically meet up for like 15, 20 minutes, right? She basically tells me that she wanted to make sure I wasn't a weirdo so she would know if she would come back to my apartment. So she did. So everything went cool. She spends the night. Cool. She tries to leave the next morning. She's like, hey, I'm going to be back in a few hours. I'm like, okay, because you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to ask somebody that. But I allow it because I'm like, all right, we're going to hook up again. When she comes to the door, she comes with like 3 bags. I'm talking about like 3 duffel bags, bro. 3 of them. Like out of nervousness and confusion, I'm like, yo, like, what are you moving in? Like, what you doing? Like, and then she says, I'm trying to. I text one of my friends and be like, yo, I need you to like call me and say it's an emergency. I gotta leave. So he did it, you know what I'm saying? She really tried to stay in the house even though I had an emergency. Finally get out the house and I block her number. But for the next 5 months, this woman popped up at my door randomly. Alright, so I meet this girl off of Instagram, right? Which most of us do. I'm pretty sure most of us do like online dating. But at the time, I didn't understand how crazy online dating could really get. So for me, it was you meet a girl for Instagram, you get to know her, that either go out or she comes to your house. Like it wasn't such a big deal, bro. You see it in movies all the time. Guys go out to bars and they hook up with chicks. I never knew that it could be like a plot twist or a crazy type of ending to a story. All right, so we basically meet at a bar, right? Because she says she doesn't want to meet anywhere too secluded. So she's like, I want to make sure you're not a creep or a weirdo. Like, let's meet at this bar. We get to the bar. I get to the bar. She comes strolling a couple minutes later. We vibing. We get some drinks. We chilling. Everything is cool. After about a drink in like 20 minutes, she's like, yo, I met you. You cool. So like, let's go to your house. Let's hang out at your crib. I'm like, cool. We hop in a cab. We go to my apartment. We playing music. We watching movies. Everything is cool. We hook up like later on in the night. She spends the night. You know what I'm saying? I allow it. I'm not like a douchebag. I'm like, cool, spend the night. We wake up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I get breakfast. Maybe I should never got her breakfast. But I got breakfast, all right? She eats, we eat. And then she's like, hey, I'm about to go run and do some errands real quick, but I'll be back a little later. Now, I'm confused, bro, because that's something you're supposed to ask a person. You don't just offer to come back to somebody's house. But maybe I shouldn't have bought the breakfast. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But you're supposed to ask you're supposed to ask, hey, are you going to be free later? Can I see you again? She didn't do that, but I didn't care because I was young and dumb. Like in my head, I just thought I was going to hit it again. So I was like, you know what? Cool. Come through later. She knocks later on. She comes back like 6 hours later. But she has duffel bags, bro. Like she's really carrying like 3 duffel bags. I'm not talking about little bags that's like cute little purses. I'm talking about duffel bags, like stuff that a grown man gonna have to carry. Like it was crazy, bro. I'm just looking at her standing in my doorway like, why you got these bags for? Oh my bad, let me put my arms down. But you know what I mean. Like it was just big duffel bags. So like out of nervousness and confusion, I'm like, what you doing? You moving in? And she's like, I'm trying to. And I'm just like, what? Like, that's not even the way you would play with somebody that you just met. But cool, she comes in and I'm just like, nah, I gotta get out this situation, bro. So I text one of my friends and I'm like, bro, I need you to call my phone in like an hour. Because I'm stupid. I was still trying to hit it real quick. So I'm like, bro, I need you to call me in like an hour and say it's an emergency. I need to leave. And he did. And he called in like an hour. And to say, hey, it's an emergency, bro. You got to come right now. So I'm like, hey, I got to leave right now. Like, so, I'm going to holler at you later. And she was like, nah, I could just wait till you get back. Like she ain't even, her comfortability level was just crazy. Now by this point, I'm basically like just going back and forth with her on why I don't feel comfortable enough to leave her in my apartment. But I finally get her to leave, right? So she had to take her bags with her, bro. I finally get her to leave. I'm like, yo, I don't know when I'm coming back. You're going to have to take these bags. And she does. And I'm thinking that's going to be the end of it, bro. I block her. I move on with my life. I kind of just kept it like, never going to see you again. Like a few days later, I'm basically walking into my building and my super stops me. He's like, yo, some girl was standing in the hallway for like 2 hours earlier. I had to kick her out the building. And I'm like, what you mean some girl? He's like, he explained that it was basically the same girl. He told me how she looked. He told me what she was like what her hair color was. And I'm like, what? She was just standing in the building. And they basically got into an argument because the super was like, where are you supposed to be? Like, you're not supposed to just be standing in this hallway. It's kind of like a secluded building. And he had to ask her to leave and told her she was going to call the cops. And she was like, oh, my boyfriend lives in apartment such and such. And I'm like, what? So I basically told him, like, bro, if you see her, don't let her in this building. I hardly know that girl. Now, somehow, a few days later, I'm coming back in the building. I'm going to my apartment. I just got off of work. I come off the elevator, and this girl is standing in front of my door. Like, straight up standing in front of my door. So I'm like, yo, what are you doing here? Like, why are you here? Like, why are you in front of my door? And she's just like, I was waiting for you. And I'm like, bro, I know you know that I blocked you. I know that you know that we did this. We did this already. I blocked you. Like, it been like 2 weeks now. Like, you can't just come to somebody's crib, bro. Like, I did not understand what was going on. To tell you the truth, this was honestly kind of embarrassing. Because at this point, everybody in my building kind of knew what was going on. But I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I go in the apartment. I close the door on her. I'm like, you got to dip. I'm like, if you don't leave, I'm going to have to call the cops. You know what I'm saying? She ends up leaving. I'm thinking it's done. It's apparently not done, y'all. Like, apparently, this girl just did not get the point. So she comes back probably a week or two later, right? And I had another girl in my apartment. It's like 2 in the morning. Somebody's ringing my bell. I can look out my window to see who's ringing my bell from the 6th floor that I live on. So I stare out the window like, who the hell would be ringing my bell at 2 in the morning? Bro, it's literally the same girl with the duffel bags, bro. Just ringing my doorbell at 2 in the morning, bro. And then she texts me from a random, like, text-free type number. And she's just like, hey, I know you're upstairs. Like, why are you not buzzing me in? When I tell y'all, I still get PTSD from this because how do you handle a situation like this? I gotta take another shot. I don't let her in. She basically like leaves. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, she starts texting me like long paragraphs, cursing me out. Like it's starting to get real stalkery, bro. And like I'm sugarcoating it, but for the most part, this was going on for about 3 to 4 months. Like the random texts, the random pop-ups. It literally got so bad that the last draw I had was when I had to go to the police precinct and sign. You know what's crazy? I tried to basically sign a what's that thing called? A restraining order, right? But then I realized all I had was her social media and a fake name that she could have gave me. I don't know if it was her real name, but I gave that name to the cops. I showed them a picture because I had a picture of her saved. To tell you the truth, I don't even know if the restraining order was finalized because it was like a process where I had to go back because I wasn't sure if I really knew this girl information. So all I knew was my lease came up and my lease was done and I could have signed for like 2 more years. Bro, I got up out of there. I found a new apartment. I just moved. I didn't want no kind of affiliation with that apartment. I got a new apartment because I always knew that girl was going to find me. Like, and it's so crazy because one day I just bumped into this girl randomly on the train like a year ago, bro, before the pandemic. And I would just remember, like, I just jumped off the stop. It wasn't my train stop. I just had to go. Like, I had to wait for the next train like 15 minutes, but I did not care, bro. Because I never want to see that girl again. Now, I understand people could be crazy, but it's something about crazy females that freak me out. So I ain't have no time for it. I had to move away, get a new number. I didn't care, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just never want to see that lady again. So I basically like met this girl on Instagram, went out to a bar for 20 minutes, brought her back to my apartment and hooked up, and I thought I was mad cool. Hell no, bro. That lady ruined my life, bro. When I tell you text messages, pop-ups, threats, it was just too much, bro. Like arguing with people in my building, arguing with my super, bro. I'm just glad I'm not going through that no more, bro. So be careful when y'all online dating, yo. Look at me, I'm just drinking, bro, cause I'm stressed right now. You know what I mean? I can't do it.